What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, in today's video, I want to give you an update as to what is happening with Solana, because it actually does seem like we could be building up to some type of bullish structure that, of course, could lead to some pretty damn good gains. Now, of course, this isn't guaranteed, but it's at least worth noting and paying attention to, so I want to share it with you today. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now, looking at Solana here, we're going to be paying the most amount of attention to what has been happening on this $122 level. Now, what you can see is that recently, right, we've been seeing Solana's price holding up pretty well at this level. We established some support here, we established some support here, we established some support here and here. Now, as the support has been playing out, some type of structure has been forming off of each one of these different establishments of support. Now, interestingly enough, we're kind of at a balance. We're at a crossroads right now to where this structure is either going to be extremely bullish or extremely bearish. Now, of course, there's really no way of knowing, but there are a couple things that you can pay attention to that'll give you signs and signals, and that's what we're focusing on today. Now, in a macro sense, okay, we are seeing more of a bearish pattern, right? We see the left shoulder here, we see the head here, we see the right shoulder here. This is pretty textbook head and shoulders pattern, but of course, there are no guarantees that this is going to play out. This is a massive level of support. There's a ton of liquidity right here, and we're in the macro bull market. And so at the end of the day, we could see Solana's price still break to the upside. And on the shorter time frames, we can see that Solana is now seemingly putting in what many consider to be a double bottom off the move to the downside, right? And so oftentimes in a situation like this, in which we of course see a downtrend into a double bottom, those do hold up pretty well. They actually hold up a lot better than something like this, which is a downtrend, then a head and shoulders pattern, right? Usually when you're looking at a head and shoulders pattern, you need to be the most careful when it looks like this. That is when things get a little ugly, okay? A situation like this, not as much. And so because of that, I'm really more focusing in on what is happening on the shorter time frames to see if this little micro bullish pattern does play out and if this double bottom does start to push us back to the upside. And the reason it is so important is because if this thing does play out and if we do execute to the upside off of this double bottom, now we're in a situation where we've invalidated this previous head and shoulders pattern and we've broken through key levels of resistance that should open the door for us to continue on. So this could be the setup that we're looking for to get out of this little bearish slump that we're in. Now, please don't forget, I am still under the belief that the rest of summer is probably going to be ugly for crypto, so I'm not feeling too optimistic right now, but I am definitely still keeping my eye out for things like this. So the three things that need to happen in order for this double bottom to play out are already in effect. The first thing that of course needs to happen for a double bottom to play out is of course the establishment of support on the last level in which you establish support, which is right here. Now, of course, that's basic. Now, off of that, what needs to happen is you need to create something called the MLR, the mid level of resistance, and you need to break that level. This is your mid level of resistance, and it's quite simply just the little mountain you put in between the two valleys, right? You got a little valley right here, a little valley right here. This little mountain that you put in is called the MLR. And what you need to do is you need to see this crypto price, whatever you're talking about, break that MLR, break that level of resistance currently sitting at $154. In a situation in which we see this level broken, the last step that you need to see taken, which generally does happen, is a successful back test of that MLR. And what that looks like is your double bottom playing out. Boom, you establish 2 points of support, break above this MLR, back test it and hold some type of support, flip this previous point of resistance into a point of support, and generally that is the last step in which you need to take in order to make this move to the upside and start to execute. Now, of course, there are no, you don't have to see support established here, right? You don't have to see the back test happen, but it does usually confirm it much stronger. And considering the fact that we have this point of resistance right here, right? This resistance, and we have this resistance right here, knowing we have those 2 points of resistance right there, it wouldn't shock me if we start to make this move that we bounce to the downside off of one of those points of resistance, come back and backtest, and then try to make the move. So as you can see, there are things that still need to happen, right? And realistically, it is going to be hard for Solana's price to be able to break to the upside of this descending level of resistance that we have here and break some of these 618 to 786 Fibonacci zones right here, resistance right here. There is a lot of struggle that is still sitting in front of us. But the fact that we are seemingly at least trying to put in some type of bullish structure just goes to show that the tide is shifting to some degree, and that could be the beginning of what could be this move back to the upside over the next couple of weeks, over maybe even the next couple months. Obviously, we'll just have to wait and find out. And so what I'm doing right now is still a lot of nothing. I'm not really buying, I'm not selling, I'm not longing, I'm not shorting, I'm not doing any of those things. I'm quite simply just waiting. I want to see if Solana's price is capable of breaking through this point of resistance and looking to continue out of this wedge before I start doing any major purchasing. If I am going to start doing some major purchasing, purchasing, I'm either going to be buying once we get the clear breakout, because I know now we're on track to continue upwards, or once we come back down to these support levels, right? I'm not buying in the middle because there's no clarity and I don't know what's going to happen. So all I can do is sit back and watch and be responsive to what happens, and that's how we've been doing so well over the last few years, and that's how we're going to continue to do well. So the best thing you can do right now, in my opinion, sit back, wait, and watch. See if we're capable of breaking $154 to the upside. If so, we could see this double bottom get enacted. If it's enacted, the breakout target to the upside is the distance from your MLR down to your support, which gives us a breakout target to around $196, which does put us right past this previous point of resistance here, a beautiful breakout target. And so because of that, of course, there could be some potential to the upside there, and that is why I am looking forward to seeing if this thing is capable of breaking or not. So of course, again, as always, I will continue to update you as this does play out. Just keep an eye on this double bottom, keep an eye on your MLR, and see if we're capable of breaking that level. I will update you as often as possible, every other day, every day, as this does play out. So just don't feel like you're gonna miss it or something. I should be able to update you pretty soon. So make sure that you do subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you are new here, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Peace out, everybody.